It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great, like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes. So let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
And my name is Mike.
And I thought you were going to say that you love movie trailers because, boy, do we have a lot of movie trailers to talk about today.
Yes.
We've got...
If I was more ambitious with the YouTube thumbnail, I would have made like a whole like trailer park type of situation, and I would have had all this fanfare of like billboards or like movie screens, and I was like, nah, it's just I'm just tiling for these things.
No, it's fine. It's the thumbnail for trailers we're going to talk about anyway. So we don't have visuals for them, but it's cool because we have a leaked trailer that we're going to talk about for Avatar 3, Mike, Fire and Ash.
Boy.
We'll talk about it later, but like I sent Mike the link and said this might be up still when you see it. Was it taken down by the time you got to it?
When you first sent me the link, I was in the middle of something and it was live, but I saw it was just on Vimeo, and I was like, "Oh, this is so brittle.
Yeah.
This is waiting to get destroyed." And then, like, I checked it on in like an hour, and it was long gone.
Okay, cool. Well, I downloaded a copy for Mike because I knew that was going to happen. I'm like, this is dicey. This is real cagey here. But anyway, we got Avatar Fire and Ash. Talked about Tron Ares. Got its first full trailer. Mortal Kombat 2. Gives us its first full trailer. Stranger Things Season 5 hits us with, I would say, an emotional kind of recap kind of trailer and more this week.
Yeah, it was a lot to catch up on. It's exciting, though. Like, I feel like these trailers were off our radar in a way of all of a sudden you sent me a text earlier in the week. They're like, "Oh, there's a lot going on right now." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And then, head on over to YouTube, hit the homepage. I was like, "Oh yeah, there's some trailers popping up right now."
I'm honestly, and we'll talk about a little surprised because Mortal Kombat, I believe that was an HBO Max free release, right? During the pandemic when they were like doing free movies on Max. So I was surprised they didn't save it for like put it like a week earlier in front of Superman, right? Which is a Warner Brothers property. So they gave that to this week. Honestly, Fantastic Four is coming out this week. So Tron Ares and Avatar, both Disney properties, gonna save it for that. And Stranger Things, we are in the back half of the year, and that will wrap by New Year's with this weird release schedule. So we can talk about it later. But yeah, pretty excited to kind of go through this and do it. But I'm gonna start the top show with a little housekeeping. This week, obviously, Fantastic Four. The week after that is GenCon. Which is one of the biggest tabletop / board gaming conventions around. I have a friend and sometimes guest host Patrick was on the show. Has invited me every year since he's gone. And last year I relented to win. Had such a good time. They're gonna go back this year. And this year I'm actually gonna be working at one of the booths. That's because they didn't let us become press this year, which is stupid. But that's not for us to talk about. I'll be working with at booth 1523, and I'm gonna pull the link up here because I actually have the link to the company I'm gonna be working with. Let's see here. One second. It's Asmadi, ASMADI Games, Asmadi Games. Be working in booth 1523, and they've got a couple games I'll be helping with. One of them is Mystic Curling Club, which is a dexterity-based magical dice curling game, which I like dice games, Mike. I don't know about you. Something about throwing dice, like the physicality of it and like the randomness is like enthralling to me, and I don't know why. I'm so attracted. Like Yahtzee and Risk, like are two core staples of me growing up.
Well, it gives you the perceived idea that maybe if you just rolled the dice like just right, like maybe you could change your fate.
Yeah, exactly. It's just something about it. It's like the one kind of gambling I do enjoy. And then the other one is Chess Joker, which is a Carl Chudyk game, adding a pile of crazy action cards to chess. So they've described lots of strategy, lots of chaos, lots of fun. Chess Joker kind of reminds me, a lot of games have been kind of, I wouldn't say jumping on the bandwagon, but with the advent of that one poker
Oh,
game.
are you talking about Balatro?
Balatro, yeah. I was about to say, I was literally playing it Friday. I play it every few days. Balatro, but like, Jokers and card games like that become huge again. So combining chess with looks like power Jokers action cards. Sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. So I'll be there helping showcase those games off with Asmadi Games at GenCon. Also, for those related to the show, they will be doing the Avengers expansion for the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. So essentially D&D for Marvel. Their Avengers expansion book will be there. So I plan on picking that up as well. And I know we have lots of listeners of the show. I ran into so many people last year. It was awesome. If you're going to be there, hit me up. If you probably already got my number. Love to talk to everybody, see everybody in person, and just have a good time at Gen Con at the end of the month. Mike, what have you been up to?
Yeah, it's been an exciting week for two reasons. One surprise and one something that I've been tracking for months now. First off, a surprise of a little movie on Netflix called Kpop Demon Hunters. I heard about this movie announced like a while ago. I want to say maybe like 2+ years ago. And it was when I was following a lot of the animation industry on social media, and I heard about this movie, and it was happening over at Sony Animation. And I was like, oh, well, this is exciting. Sony Animation, responsible for some of our favorite Spider-Man stuff being put out. I don't really know anything about K-pop, but I'll keep my ear to the ground, see what comes of this. And then I totally forgot about it until, in typical fashion, one day it was just on Netflix. It was like, surprise, it's here, and I was like, okay, we're no fanfare. I don't think I saw a trailer. I'm sure one existed, but just didn't come across my radar. And I normally, something drops on Netflix and I go, oh, I'm going to watch that. And I just never do. Just, life gets in the way, plenty of other things to watch, and it just evaporates into consciousness. But I just kept hearing about it. I kept hearing about it. It was climbing up the ranks of Netflix top 10. I would assume it's still in the top 10 right now. If not, it was like number 1 for a while. And then my social media algorithm starts showing me people doing like cosplay and like the songs from the movie, which this is very driven by the music, unsurprisingly called Kpop Demon Hunters. I was like, all right, I got to check this thing out. So I watched it and I was just absolutely pleasantly surprised. The animation is beautiful. I love the style that they brought to this. I love just the choreography in it. Like, there's not only dancing, but there's also like real action and fighting in it, which is really exciting. And then it's just legitimately funny. They do some really funny things with the characters. The script is good. The story's interesting. It is very much from this lens and perspective of like Korean culture. So there's like this whole demon mysticism side of thing that's like driven from that perspective, which makes it unique to me because I don't really know anything about their folklore over there with demons. So it was just shocking. And then it has like the X factor of like an animated Disney movie of like those addictive songs. Like, I'm sure this is charting over on Spotify right now. I would be shocked if it wasn't somewhere on the Billboard charts right now, but there's just super catchy, like engineered K-pop songs in this. And yeah, I'm just a big fan. I would love to watch more of this. And I have to say, I was very pleasantly surprised to see that this was a movie, because when I heard about it, I didn't know if it was going to be like a series or if it was going to be a film. And then when I saw, I only have to dedicate like basically one viewing session to this movie, I was very excited because I was like, I just don't have the time in my life to roll the dice on just like a random animated series. So this is me, just the general recommendation of go watch Kpop Demon Hunters and also watch movies because you're just investing less time, and we need that more than ever now.
We'll talk about it because I want him to catch up. But I caught the animated show that movie Predator Killer of Killers, which I agree. Like it was fun to digest a movie for that rather than a whole animated series about the Predators. So I agreed with that. And this this next topic we're both sharing at the same time.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I just need to open it already. I'm going crazy here. I'm so thirsty.
Okay, there he goes. He's
so good. So good, Chris. Chris, it's so good. This is like it's so good. This is like the best tasting thing in the world. Obviously, if you know me on any personal level, huge into Diet Coke. Big Diet Coke household in this house over here. I've recently heard Diet Cokes referred to as fridge cigarettes, which I think is hilarious because that's exactly what they are. And flavored Diet Coke is really hard to find. Now, if you're like waving your finger at your podcast device and go, no, 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 there's plenty of flavored. Like, no, you're thinking of Coke Zero, which I'm okay with. I'm not a hater of Coke Zero, but flavored Diet Coke, it's gone from the world. It just doesn't exist anymore. All you can get is a Diet Coke, unless you go to like a freestyle machine and like God knows if those things are ever consistent. So they have re-released the Diet Cherry Coke in a cool retro can. It is currently, I believe, exclusively only at Kroger / whatever grocery store they may or may not own in your town. So out here on the West Coast, it's Ralph's. So if you have a Kroger adjacent grocery store, just like run out and get it. It's so good. This is so much better than the Feisty Cherry Diet Coke, which like back in, I think it was like 2012 or like 2010s. Like they did like a whole line of like flavored Diet Cokes, and they had like this vertical stripe colored pattern on each of them to dedicate the flavor. So there was like a mango, a lime, a vanilla, and a cherry. And the Feisty Cherry was too feisty. It was like almost like too like medicinal and like pinchy. This tastes like somebody just like poured maraschino cherry juice in a Diet Coke, and I'm in love with it. It's a limited time, so I don't know how long it's going to be out there, but like we are routinely going out and like buying 12 packs. Like these will be in my life as long as I can make them be. So resounding 11 out of 10. This is probably going to be the best thing I rate and review out of all media and food all year. This is going to be hard to top, Chris.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm not enjoying this at all. But again, flavors are different for everybody. I'm not a Diet Coke person. Mike knows this. I'm not a Diet Coke person.
You're hitting the bottle.
Yeah,
the bottle and the can. There is nuances. There's nuances there.
I would also I told myself I brushed my teeth after lunch. And I was that was a while ago, but it's still sticking with me. So I've got 2 bottles. So I'm gonna try to hit this clean. At another time, like another day, like without that, because I'm like, it's not, but like again, I didn't grow up liking Diet Cokes. Coke Zeros for me is an acquired taste. I like Diet Pepsis, so it's all acquired. So I agree with Mike. We are fans of flavors and releases and limited release. I enjoy, if not anything about this, it is the fact that it feels like it was pulled right out of the late '80s, early '90s shelf design. Like the font, the linear cherry on it, like the colors, everything about this just pulls me back into the '90s, like early '90s, and I'm here for the retro, not retro futuristic. That's fantastic word, but like the retro vibes of this drink, because it feels like something literally I would get out of my grandma's fridge after my grandpa was having a cigarette for him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm having my cigarette. Also, go get me a Diet Cherry Coke out of the fridge," kind of deal. So here for it. So we'll both be drinking on that while we talk through the episode today. But let's jump into some news here. This is comic adjacent, Mike, and that is Judge Dredd. Is a new movie is being shopped around to distributors. Now, I say that it means it's not produced yet, but they have a team in place where it is written by Drew Pearce, most recently The Fall Guy, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, and it will be directed by Taika Waititi of obviously Thor, Love and Thunder, Thor Ragnarok fame, and this sounds interesting. It's not a sequel to the one from the 2013 with Carl Urban.
Dredd.
Yeah, this sounds like this is going to be more akin to the dark humor of the comic books, the original ones, less so than even Sylvester Stallone's version. But I like this character. I think, it comes and goes, like his popularity. And I don't know. Do I want to see more Judge Dredd, Mike? Do you? I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, here. I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it.
He's almost like this Blake Slate character in a way of he's an iconic and recognizable character to a point. Mm-hmm. But, if there are hardcore fans out there, which I'm sure there are, there's not enough of them, right, to revolt if you're not doing the character, like perfect justice, pun intended. But also, like, I feel like everything that Judge Dredd stands for is very much in the zeitgeist. Like any filmmaker could approach this and like really just be doing what sci-fi does best, which is just you know, telling, modern kind of like themes through like this futuristic setting. So there's so much stuff that you could talk about, just like
Yeah.
the state of the future, police, police state and everything. I mean, but yeah, Carl Urban's was so good. I would love to see a continuation of that, but
Yep.
unfortunately I think that's a little too long gone. If I had
Mhm.
to guess maybe who would pick this up, I would say check back in 11 days because I just looked at justwatch.com and right now Dredd is leaving it's leaving HBO Max in 11 days.
Okay.
So I would be kind of curious to see what's the streamer that picks it up because I would think wherever this movie is currently succeeding would be high up on the list to acquire the movie rights. HBO Max, they could like look at their analytics and be like, "Hey, Dredd did really well for us when it was on the platform. Let's pick this up and keep it going." But it's dropping in 11 days, so I'm curious where it's going to go next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I looked it up. I didn't realize Judge Dredd has been around since 1977. I thought he was more of a 90s only character, but I guess that's maybe the popularity. But like, I didn't realize he'd been around so long. But I do like the Carl Urban one. It's got the the raid vibe to it, right? He's in one building. He's got to work his way up through these mega cities internally. It's such a fun little thing. But I do not enjoy the Sylvester Stallone one because I always get that and Demolition Man confused with each other because I feel like Stallone was doing both of these movies at the same time. Like, the future is police state future and kind of thing. So I'm excited for this. Good team, but like at the same time, like if there's some other properties that need to be created for the first time, I think that might be something. But you know what they say, third time's the charm. That's what they told Hellboy last year when his movie came out.
I mean, Taika has so much in production right now.
Allegedly.
He's got his Star Wars film is in development. He's working on Very Young Frankenstein, which I didn't know was a thing and that he was dealing with. Then he's got 3 other things in pre and post production right now. So I feel like Taika Waititi and James Gunn kind of overlap in my head a little bit as like directors that have been elevated for their like very specific like type of humor, but both kind of need like breaks, right? Somebody needs to be there to slow them down a little bit. So I'm really curious about what is coming out next from Taika.
Well, I would say, for what I'm thinking is, I know he's got all this stuff coming up, but like, how much of like I don't put any weight in him doing Star Wars until the script's done. I don't think he's writing Star Wars, right? Like he's just directing. So do they need to nail that script down before he even like? They just give him a call and be like, hey, here's where we're at. Keep your calendar open because I would say that this is probably something. But he was also on that. Like, he's like been tied to things that drop off the radar. Like remember when he was attached to Akira adaptation as well for a long time. So like, I would say if a distributor does pick it up, it's probably going to be low budget, and I would say the first person who drops off is going to be the director in that situation. Right?
I don't know all of the inner workings of Hollywood. But if I had to be maybe slightly conspiratorial, I wonder if there's like a strategy here, right? Of just like, hey, we really don't think Taika's ever going to direct this Dredd movie, but let's just have him attached just for like half a year, right? That's just enough to get some buzz around this movie. We know he's never going to do it. So when he gets too busy and when his schedule gets too full and he can't do it, we're going to bump him down to like executive producer. So when this Dredd movie does come out with a totally different director, we can say from the creator of like Thor Ragnarok, right?
Yeah.
We can put him on the poster and
yeah,
and then it goes to a much more affordable director. I'm gonna put that out in the world. That's gonna be. I'm gonna guess that's what happens to this movie.
I also see Judge Dredd movies on par with the latest Prey and Alien movie. Like I could see this like going like being low budget enough to go to Hulu, like a streaming service pick it up rather than theatrical, and working in that favor because like I said, that Prey and Alien, what was it? the one that came out, the last Alien one that came out, Romulus, I believe. It was, right?
Romulus, yeah.
Worked great on streaming. Did numbers on enough to get an Alien TV show and a Predator animated movie and another Predator theatrical movie. So like, I think that this could be a good bouncing off point for the character if they want to, look forward to making it franchisable in the future, or just do a solo. All that. Moving on, let's talk about trailers. We're going to talk about one of the Disney trailers first, Tron Ares. We've talked about this for a while. Number one, because we hate Jared Leto, and he's the main person in this movie. Hate's a strong word, but boy, like he's not someone I want to hang out with, if that makes sense. I think he's too full of himself. But he is the main character in this movie, and the first trailer didn't even have him. It was kind of like a teaser of like, hey, showing the grid, ships and stuff making its way into the real world. This one seems to lean more into, hey, the military is generating programs in the real world to control them. They can de-res them in real life and then like respawn them, it looks like, a little bit. And there's a shot in this trailer, Mike. It's not Jeff Bridges, even though he does return. There's a shot where like that ship, the big, it's like a horseshoe shaped ship, I guess. I don't know what it's called. Lets off a bunch of like missiles and like other like seeking things over a city, and that was like one of the coolest shots I've ever seen in a Tron-esque movie. I never thought I'd want to see them in real life, but this hyped me up a little bit more than the last one did. What about you?
Yeah, it's an absolutely badass shot paired with I think that if I remember right, it's like the last shot of the trailer and like the Nine Inch Nails music is like really starting to swell at that point. And I was like, oh, this is sick. This is like, I got to see this in IMAX, right? Also too, when I feel like when you go to an IMAX screen, there's a higher chance that the theater like keeps up on all of the settings, like they're making sure the seats are good. They're making sure the speakers are aligned well and everything's rumbling as it should. That's where they put like their best, what is it, like an IMAX, like 4 point, no, not 4. What's like the highest surround sound number? I don't know numbers. It's something. Something.
At like you can do like 9.1s, but like I guarantee you they have way more than 9 channels around them, right? So they're doing vertical. We talked about Atmos before, like the high channels as well. They probably even have some like lower speakers to fire upwards. Like my guess is they have a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be like amazing. But I was really drawn to, the story, take it or leave it to me. I feel like everyone now that's in the Tron camp is just going for the visuals and the music. And if they can make a halfway competent story, we'll be happy. But I really like the visual take of what it looks like creating these characters, because I thought the story was going to be like, oh, they're invading. They found a way to like sneak in, but it's like, no, there's some Justin Hammer type guy like 3D printing them. And I love the visual effect that they created, because when they're like building them or when they destroy them in front of the potential buyers, I'm assuming like the military representatives, they're like resing them and like de-resing them like right in front of them. And then there's like kind of like a rough scaffolding that kind of goes around them, just like if they were being printed. So I like the visual design there.
It's kind of like a little cocoon, like a technical cocoon, if you will, that like they come out of. But like, again, they're programs, right? Like they're talking about, oh, he's the perfect soldier, and like is Jared Leto Ares, or like is anyone in a red suit an Ares? Is going to be my question, right? Like, is it like, because like we've seen like there's a squad of them in red, and there's a couple of them burst out of those cocoons. So like, how frequently are they bringing them into the real world, quote unquote killing them, possibly sending them back to the digital world, and then redoing them again? I'd be interested. But like, one of the things, and we talked about the missile shots at the end, what I love about the Tron vehicles, like they those dudes like jump over a cliff and they turn into the wing gliders. Like when things are just generated out of the air in the Tron movies, like they have I don't know if it's like a technical building effect. I don't know how to describe it. Like it kind of like builds around itself, right? Like it just keeps unfolding a little bit. But I also love that all the trails for everything, the light bikes, the missiles, everything, like they linger. Like it's not like a fading effect of like, oh, that light's gonna fade as it catches up. Like it just stays there permanently as long as they want it to. And it's just different. Like it's something different, right? It's not like firing a real missile or firing real guns. Like these are, really, I guess, pushing the technological boundaries, but also existing in the Tron world for how things operate and interact with each other, and how they bring them into the real world. It looks cool. I saw the first comment I think on the trailer is we get a Nine Inch Nails soundtrack that comes with a free Tron movie, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that. But I financially we didn't when the last Tron movie is like 2010 2011 for Tron Legacy, this 14 years later is coming out with this one. There might be a little bit of money into it, enough that they put the bicycle thing in the park. We didn't talk about it last time. Have you ridden did they have Tron in Disneyland, Mike?
No, not out here on the West Coast.
Okay. My wife just went to Disney World a couple weeks ago, and she rode the Tron thing, and she said it was really awesome. And we're not big roller coaster people, but she said it was really, really cool, and I would love to experience that. But there's got to be something. There's got to be something in Tron other than just someone with a passion to create these out. But I'm excited to watch this October. This is a nice October movie. To kind of get in there, take a look. Evan Peters, that's the guy who's the Justin Hammer type in there. But Tron Ares, check out the trailer. Let us know what you think. Also, I'm pretty excited for the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack. Moving on, Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel to was it 2022's Mortal Kombat. Stream movie has come out, and we finally get a main character who exists in the real world, Mike, or in the real games. Remember they created that Cole person for the last movie that nobody really cared for knew, but now we get Carl Urban himself, Dredd, Mr. I can't think. I'm bad with names today. It's one of those days. In the boys.
Bones.
Bones.
Oh, I thought you were thinking Star Trek.
No,
Bones.
well, Bones. He's also he was in Love and Thunder, right? Not Love and Thunder, Ragnarok, right? As with the guns. He's also in The Boys. Carl Urban is a man of the people these days. He's just doing projects he wants to do. Fans are gonna see him. We can see him as Johnny Cage. The actor turned our fighter for the Mortal Kombat, and of all the things, Mike, what's my biggest complaint about Mortal Kombat? You know this. Everybody knows this if they've listened to the show once.
There wasn't enough tournament.
There wasn't a tournament at all. They were just fighting behind the scenes, so you don't have to have the tournament. And now we get an official tournament here, and we get to see all the people come back. I think there were did you see the posters come out for this? Like the 20 different posters that came out that were all different colors for each one. I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's just like the character select screen when you're playing Mortal Kombat. You get to see them all together if you put them in a grid. I'm excited. The stakes for this are weak. Like if this fails, no big deal. I'm gonna have a good time. But I'm excited that they're leaning into some of the weirder shit in Mortal Kombat, like Baraka, right? You saw Baraka with the spiked teeth and the bone arms. He's fighting. So I'm down for this. You're probably not as hyped for it as I am, but I am absolutely thrilled with someone who loves Mortal Kombat games.
This trailer gives off big vibes of we know you probably didn't watch the first one or don't remember it, and we don't expect you to. This really just kind of feels like, oh, they're rebooting Mortal Kombat and Carl Urban's are in it, and it's just like, oh, but no, we made another one, but you just don't remember it.
And that's good because I'm pretty sure they killed Raiden not Raiden, the guy with the laser eye in the first one. Kano. They killed Kano in the first one, and he's back in this one. So it looks like they're feeling pretty okay by retconning anything out of the first one. Oh, they died? Not really. They're here. And then I think it was halfway through the trailer, you get to see the original guy. It was Louis Tan, the actor, in the scene. So I'm like, well, maybe they have a plan for him later. Maybe he can become the next Scorpion or Sub-Zero or something. But I'm glad they changed the focus from, hey, a dude you don't know that we just created for the movie to, hey, we're going to follow Carl Urban around as he does his best fake or Jean-Claude Van Damme impression, really, right, throughout this whole thing. So I'm excited. It looks like they're going to be doing different levels, different missions, and all the shit ton of characters. So that comes out, I believe is that October 24th. Boy, October is going to be a good month for me, Mike. I'm gonna just be using those Cinemark credits all October long. Also, this was a Red Band trailer, meaning that they will have R-rated. Will be R-rated, and they will feature fatalities, which is a staple of Mortal Kombat games since it first came out, right? So, for me, that's a win. Well, for anyone, any Mortal Kombat fan, that's a when they're doing game accurate fatalities. Moving on into Stranger Things streaming gear. Stranger Things season 5, big trailer released for the upcoming season that will be split across like what 3 week release dates or something like that. Thanksgiving, pre-Christmas, and then like New Year's Day, which is kind of weird. But this looks like a really fun trailer to showcase, some of the memories of the old the show, and just some other cool upcoming scenes, including Demogorgons, and obviously a new look at the main villain, was his name Vecna at the end as well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of this? I'm not in love with Stranger Things, but I'm glad it gets a definitive ending. Like, it's not like, hey, we're just gonna cancel the show in the middle of it.
Yeah, I purposely skipped this trailer because I am prepping for the impending just social media onslaught when it comes to this final season, because there's always so much drama around this show, and it drives me crazy, whether it's deserved or not. I know some of the actors occasionally get in hot water, and they still keep making the show, and because obviously nothing is big enough to fire anyone. But I really like the show. Like I just like sitting down and watching it and enjoying it. It's better for me if I can do it in the most bubble that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And once the show's finally out in the world, right? And then, I can slightly engage in the culture and what they're talking about. But Netflix is going to be pushing this final season harder than it's ever pushed anything. They rarely market things, but I'm sure they're going to be hiring extra outside advertising agencies that have all these different activations and campaigns and social media pushes. They want the cosplayers out there. They want everybody. They want to hire the person that makes those crazy press on nails. And they want them to be in the upside down with demigorgons hanging off them. The blitz on this last season is just going to be absolutely insane. And I just want to do my best to dip below the noise and just enjoy what the Duffer Brothers have made. Because I really like what the Duffer Brothers have done with this show so far. I hope they have a really promising career in front of them. I love to see what they can do outside of this world. Yes, that's a long-winded way of saying I skipped this trailer, but I'm very much looking forward to this final season.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a single thing about this with watching the show, so that's a plus. If you ever happen to come across it, you won't be spoiled. One of the two of my favorite comments on it is, number one, when Stranger Things came out, I was 6. Now I'm 65. Simply because this has been a 10-year journey for the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's only supposed to take less than 4 years, because this one's set in the fall of '87, so this was time skipped. And then also someone says congratulations to Netflix for ending its first show before it got canceled, or coming to a conclusion with that before it got canceled. So I thought it was pretty poignant, because Netflix is guilty of canceling shows without that. So we're glad Stranger Things has made its full 5 seasons, and we'll have an ending. Do you think they're going to do a spin-off, any spin-offs from this, prequels, sequels, side characters, Mike? That's the thing I've kind of been thinking about. Is it's such a big, Stranger Things, I would say, is on par with shows like The Boys, which had a very successful spin-off, right? Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So do you see the property Stranger Things being grounded and kind of bundled up, never to be touched again when it's done?
That's a great question. I mean, I feel like if it was on the table, it would have happened already in a way. Like you said, we've just been with this series for a decade, and it seems like they would have got something going already. Obviously we've had things like writer strikes and pandemics and delays. So it's been hard enough for them to get just the normal show out. So yeah, maybe they have to wait to kind of get it all done. If there is a spinoff, I doubt it's the Duffer Brothers that do it. I think that they'll move on to something else.
They might creatively control it. Hey, here's our story Bible, right? Here's the beats that you have to, or that we know tie into this, right? Kind of thing. I'd like to see absolutely somebody else doing that.
I do find it funny, like how much ungodly amounts of money Netflix has to spend to just get a couple of really good completed shows on their platform, right? There's so many good unfinished series that they cancel. It's just like they have what The Crown and Stranger Things. Like, yeah, I know there's probably a couple other things, but it's like they really need something like completed, right? You know, if you want to rewatch The Sopranos, right, you got to resubscribe to whatever HBO is streaming on to rewatch The Sopranos, right? They
Yeah.
have that like bee in their bonnet. You know, even Prime has stuff now that you have to, check out things that have completed, so it's nice that Netflix is finally going to have something like premium that they can say like, hey, we finished something finally, come back and watch it.
So I looked up, there's a Wikipedia article, a list of ended Netflix original programming. Because the first one I thought of was actually House of Cards.
Yeah, but that one got messed up with
did.
the spacey stuff.
Yeah, it did. But they did write an ending. They didn't just cancel it right then and there. Orange is the New Black is another one. I'm not going to give them any of the Marvel stuff. Narcos, familiar with that. You mentioned The Crown. Yeah, there's not a lot in here because there's like we pull it's like a bunch of shows they saved like I'm not gonna give them, was it Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life, which was like a mini thing of that kind of thing. So interested in that. Umbrella Academy I guess ended, not in a good way, but I guess it did.
Oh God, what an awful thing to bring up to me, Chris.
Yeah, with a whimper instead of a bang.
It makes me so mad. It honestly was so bad, it made me forget the entire show existed.
Yeah.
So when somebody brings it up again, like I instantly get mad.
Yeah. There's a lot of potential wasted there at the end of that. But we're going to talk about another show that recently got a season 5, an early renewal for Invincible, Mike, over at Amazon. We're not even on the season 4 yet, but they've already announced they're doing season 5, and they announced it by releasing actors and voice actors in the booth recording lines. Starting with fan favorite Walton Goggins. Everybody loves Walton Goggins if you can get his content. So I've included that little clip here. So they're recording lines for season 5 right now, which is awesome. I mean, there's probably be an even less wait to get to that between. And a 1 to 2 was a while, 2 to 3 was a while, 3 to 4 pretty short, 4 to 5 will probably be pretty short as well. So this is great news for Invincible fans, right? Doing this out there. And it's also a reminder that Invincible Versus, the video game, was announced several weeks ago. I don't think you were on that show, Mike. You were out.
Oh, no. I didn't know that.
So it's Invincible Versus. It's a 3v3 tag team fighting game set in the Invincible universe. And I don't know. I couldn't figure out if they were using voice actors from the show or not for that. Because it was like 3 Viltrumites versus Invincible, Adam Eve, and Rexplode. And I'm like, boy, they could get sound-alikes pretty easily for video games. To do that. So just a reminder, Invincible's coming out, and it's a comic book that's done, that's getting a lot of popularity. So stick with it as it moves through that. Let's shift gears. We're gonna go into the comic book movies that we know of. DC, starting with Wonder Woman. After the success of Superman last week, the Wonder Woman movie is rumored to have been fast tracked for the DCU. My guess is James Gunn has a script. They're probably going to try to get it, completed in steps fast and get this into production probably by next year. That seems fair, right? After the success of Superman, and they currently have a Batman in the works. Like, would Wonder Woman be the one you want to work on?
Yeah.
After that,
there's just we have a nice little block here of DC news coming up. There's so much swirling around. It's like they were holding on to all of this to wait to see how Superman did, just in case they needed to pivot.
And we talked about that. We talked about that so much over the past year. Like, what happens if it's not good? There wasn't a chance it wasn't going to be good, but like, what happens? But it sounds like they had a plan A and a plan B, and now they're going down plan A. But continue.
Yeah. And I feel like I see like a new like pull quote from James Gunn like every single day where he's like opening up. He's saying, "Oh, we're gonna let you know about our plans like sooner rather than later." I see him replying randomly to people on Threads more than before the movie came out. which is funny to me because I thought he was finally like learning some self-control. He's like, no, I'm back out there on Threads. I'm just replying to randos like why crypto. I love him so
Yeah.
much, and explaining also like just random like props in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, like he's. It sounds like if this movie had gone the other way, it sounds like the press tour would be a little different. I guess, like it sounds like you said, they were waiting to confirm all these interviews and podcasts and stuff until the success of the movie, right? A little bit, and that's, to me, that's interesting. You think you'd have that already kind of lined up, but like everything is DC news and James Gunn news, and they're asking him the questions that we've seen over the past 6 months to a year, I would say. And Wonder Woman, I guess, is one of those things like, yeah, we want to know where Wonder Woman is. I think, you talk about, when we talk about Wonder Woman, it gives me the same vibes that you just said you had with Umbrella Academy, because Wonder Woman 84 was so bad, it made me it made me like forget that Gal Gadot was literally in those movies and like a side character in a lot of other movies. Even Daddy Pascal himself, Mike, couldn't save that movie after all
Yet
that time.
the headlines about this Wonder Woman stuff has been driving me crazy because they're all been written in a way to get discourse going. They say, "Oh, rumor is that Wonder Woman is being recast." It was like all of the characters are being recast. Like
Yeah.
that was announced a long time ago.
Well,
Stop trying to turn this into a whole Gal Gadot thing.
Yeah, it is. The only thing I would say is like James Gunn is keeping the ones that he wants to keep. Like anyone from Suicide Squad and Peacemaker are safe, if you will, but like those might be disconnected enough that they could be right in the long run. So there are some things that are keeping them not, but like Wonder Woman, great. We've talked about, was it the Paradise Lost show that's set in Themyscira? That's like the history of Wonder Woman and all the Amazonians. We've not had any updates on that, but obviously fan response, audience response kind of dictates where they need to go next, and I think this is the right direction, right? I would rather watch a Wonder Woman movie than a hey, here's the world Wonder Woman's from, but we're not going to get Wonder Woman. It's like watching Gotham, right? Without Batman the whole time. Mm-hmm. You're like, why would you do that? Just give us the character we want to see. So that's good. So we'll probably, I would say, not Comic-Con this year, Mike, but maybe you think like next year we'll have an announcement for this, an actress and a director, probably Wonder Woman.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, we'll give it 12 months. Next Comic-Con is also next weekend, right? San Diego Comic-Con is next weekend. Like that doesn't feel real because no one's going. So forget about that. Sergeant Rock news. This is gonna break a lot of hearts. It's not. I'm joking. The sarcasm. Director Luca Guadagnino. I don't know how to pronounce this. Is no longer attached to the movie. It sounds like the script wasn't working on different iterations, so they were just like, we're gonna scrap this or come back to it later. I don't know what happened, but Sergeant Rock is definitely not on the list of movies I want to be watching in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
so,
we'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I think he'd be a great character if they wanted to include like him like in an episode of Creature Commando, which they kind of did with the history of GI Robot. So like if they want to do more with that, feel free, but I don't think he needs a movie. That's a silly thing to be doing in your Gods and Monsters phase. Moving on to The Authority, another this one that was actually announced during the Gods and Monsters initial phase. James Gunn said that the writer, it's a mystery writer, we don't know who it is, wasn't able to crack the script for the Authority movie, and he, the writer, has moved on to another DCU movie or project. It's not movie, it's project right now. So this sounds like it's going to be on the back burner as well with this. And after watching Superman, seeing the engineer being just essentially someone Lex created, it doesn't sound like the Authority is probably going to be the same thing that we're familiar with in the comic books, right? Mm-hmm. Because those were also, heroes that we never knew.
I mean, James Gunn seems to be a proven expert at kind of creating successful movie franchises out of either comic books or teams that we're not super familiar with. But now he's kind of starting at like ground zero. I wonder if there's just like an urge or like a reflex for him to want to like bring these more like obscure groups to the front because like, oh, he's so used to doing it. But it's just like, well, you still got Batman, you still got like Cyborg, the Flash. You got a lot of heavy hitters that you can adapt first. So yeah, if you're not cracking the Authority on like year one of Superman release, you're fine.
Right. Well, exactly. Like if you got a team of characters with abilities that you want to kind of do it, like put in like this is where I would say Titans is more important than the Authority, right? Like do a Titans movie, or if they even wanted to do what they call the Justice Gang, a Justice Society film that they've tried to even do in Black Adam a little bit. Do those characters, right? Like do that team rather than the Authority. Like that is the weirdest thing to kind of be doing or picking your battles for that, because the other ones, they don't even have movies. They've never had movies. It'd be great to have them for a little bit. So this is fine with me. So Sergeant Rock, the Authority, probably not next in the 5 years. However, next year we do get our next DC movie, two of them actually. One is Clayface, the other is Supergirl, and we got our first poster for Supergirl, and instead of it's got actress Millie Alcock on it, and instead of saying look up, it says look out. I will say, I'm just going to go get this out of the way, I don't like whatever Photoshop they did to her face to make it look like she's sucking on a Slurpee. It looks weird. It looks unnatural. But other than that, seems like a fun little introduction to the character.
Yeah, this is one of the many projects like James Gunn has been chatting about out there in the world. He's saying this is going to be tonally different. If Superman was by the character's own definition punk, which I would say that definition is loose. She is supposed to be, I believe he said, rock and roll. So she's going to be, I mean, obviously we saw a glimpse of it in the movie of what she is supposed to be like.
Yeah.
So I think that is very much what we.
Yeah, she's like a party person, right? Superman's like, I'm gonna do what's right, and she's like, from what we know from the comic books, the movie that the book that the movie's taken from Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, literally starts with her drunk in a bar in space. Like that if that tells you, that book doesn't tell you what the movie's gonna be like, I don't know what does. We also know we're getting Jason Momoa as Lobo, like the biggest fan casting I think has ever happened before. I can't think of another time fans have been like, yeah, he should be Lobo, and then James was like, yeah, he's Lobo, and then Supergirl, which is awesome. The other thing to think about, and I don't know if they're going to do this in the movies, Mike, but like something I was thinking about after watching Superman and knowing Supergirl's coming out is that Supergirl was alive on Krypton at the age she is now when it blew up. That when she got sent to Earth at the same time Clark did. Clark was a baby, and she got like frozen in time. Or frozen and like didn't age, so she's the only person of the two who has memories of like Krypton and like the race of like what the world was like before it blew up, and so technically she's older because she was born beforehand, but like she's got like Captain America syndrome where she's technically younger because she was like frozen or like stuck in time or whatever. So I'm interested to see that take on her. Like how does will they show more of Krypton? Will they show more of it with her having those memories in this movie rather than what they did with Clark? Because in Superman, they just kind of hand-waved it. We don't need to go back to Krypton. We've seen it a dozen times. We know what happens. So that's fine. So do you think they might show a little more of that with her and her having those memories of literally being on the planet?
It'd be a nice way to kind of, round out the thing we don't get to see,
Yeah. It also is, I think that's why in the comic book, why she's a little more jaded, because Clark doesn't have the memories of what it was. Like he didn't lose anything. He just has a hologram showing him his family, whereas she like has the memories of losing everything. So, that's why she's a little more like drinks to forget kind of thing. But anyway, check that out. June 26th next year. So we are a little under a year away to be watching Supergirl in theaters next year. We're gonna shift gears over to Sony's side of the world. Don't worry. It's about something good. It's about a good movie, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Hit with a little bit of a delay, pushed to June 25th, 2027. So in 2 years, a little under 2 years, a year after Supergirl, will be Beyond the Spider-Verse. Sounds like they might need more time for production. I don't know. This movie is an enigma right? They announced it years ago, and it was supposed to be out a year or 2 years ago at this point, and it just kind of keeps getting pushed back. Do you think Sony will be able to stick the landing, Mike, or will they ruin it like everything else they do? Or do we have trust in Phil Lord and Chris Miller to pull this across the finish line?
It is absolutely wild to me. Making an animated film is so expensive, right? It takes so long, so many man hours, but like your risk and reward is you have the ability to possibly create something timeless and also all ages, broad category, bring everybody in. But like, I'm surprised that they are still letting it go on this long. Obviously, as a consumer, I'm ecstatic that it's taking this long. It's like waiting for a video game to come out. Like, yes, please put as much time into it as possible. Give these artists time to create an amazing story. They have only shown us trust with the last two movies that they know what they're doing. But like, I'm shocked that like there's not like an executive over at like Sony like pulling their hair out of just like this movie is gonna have to gross $1 billion to like make a profit. We like how many like 3D artists are we paying right now to like crank out like one frame? I mean, we're benefiting from it, but like I also wonder, is there a chance that it could be detrimental? Like I'm always complaining about how streaming shows take forever to come out with the next season, that I almost become uninterested by the time the next season comes around. Even if there was a big cliffhanger, it's like, well, I don't care anymore. It's been 3 years. I don't want to watch your season 2 anymore. But obviously I'm pot committed to this series.
I think once the trailer comes out,
can't possibly.
Once the trailer comes out, you're going to be singing a different story. You're like, yeah, I'm back. I'm excited. I'm hyped, right?
But like, it can't possibly be delayed anymore, right? Like this movie was supposed to be out last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, like it's been a while. Yeah. So it's yeah. I'm glad. I feel like they're going to do it right, but like at the same time, like Spider Gwen, Gwen Stacy, whatever her name is, Ghost Spider, voiced by Haley Steinfeld, only getting more popular over time, right? As an actress, like the cost of movies, like I think there's like, what is that called whenever actors signed to a movie? Like the first one's usually cheaper, and then the second and third when they get paid more. It's like a ramp.
Is it scale?
Scale, yeah, scale. So voice actors also have scale, right? So like the more you wait, the more these people are gonna be expensive. You have oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. Plays Moon Knight, Oscar Isaac, right? I've not seen anything Oscar Isaac's been in lately. I'm sure he's been in stuff. I just don't remember him. But like for a while there, he was like Star Wars, Marvel, Spider-Man. Like, he's in everything. So like he's only gonna get more expensive as well. So they need to really, I think, cross the finish line. But something also for these movies, for animation in general, something I know and you might know, we just talked about literally with Invincible, they record the lines well in advance, right? The animation they do to line up later. They're not overdubbing the animation at the end of the film. They're doing it well in advance. So hopefully, this is maybe more to maybe they're like, hey, the June 25th slot, it works great because did you just see how well Superman did? Let's lock it in instead, kind of deal. So maybe it has to do with it. I don't know. I'm excited, but goddamn, does this feel like forever away at the end of the day, right? So let's see if we can cross the finish line and be good. Let's shift into Marvel rumors. First up, foremost, Deadpool rumor. Deadpool 4 that we might be seeing more of Wolverine in Ryan Reynolds' script for Deadpool 4, meaning he probably won't be retiring after Secret Wars. I think Deadpool exists in a weird space outside of regular timelines and stories, so if they want to bring Hugh Jackman back for that and he's down for it, I think that's fine, right? Like, I don't need Deadpool canonical things. Like, yeah, he was in the MCU a little bit. Like, does it really matter at the end of the day what story he's telling because it's fun?
Yeah, I mean, they're lucky that Hugh Jackman was brought back in this kind of fantasy world of Deadpool, if you will, because you can't. They retired him so well in such a serious, dramatic way that if you were gonna kind of bring him back with sincerity, it would be almost impossible. But they literally brought him back with a joke by desecrating his grave and leaned into it. and it's technically a different version of the character. But I don't know, is this like Hugh Jackman's like weird like fitness routine? Is this his motivation? Is like, oh, as long as I'm still cast as Wolverine, and they're gonna like rip my shirt off with electricity, I gotta stay jacked for as long as possible.
He might say film those scenes first in the next movie. He's like, can you just go ahead and get those out of the way?
Yeah, it's like I think I might die. I mean, at this point in time, he might as well just be pot committed, sign like a 20-year deal, and just like prepare for his eventual like real Old Man Logan adaptation. You know, however they want to pull that off. Even though Logan was pretty close to kind of being something akin to Old Man Logan, but it's Chris, I just sent this to you. I'm sure you've seen it already, and the timing is never in our favor. I feel like.
Well, I've been reading through. I put the one big bullet point in this down here already, and everything else is like kind of this like. It's interesting, but boy, I can't read and talk at the same time because of the show.
What we're saying is, at literally the minute Chris and I sat down to start recording, Variety just put out this gigantic article, Kevin Feige on Marvel Studios' future. It's like a tell-all. It's like he's sitting down and just like chatting with Variety about all the juicy nuggets that we'd love to talk about on this show. But like and I think one of the big pullouts that I saw on social just a couple minutes ago, that like Feige is like openly talking about like the future of Marvel, and like he's not committing to the word like reset or reboot, but he's saying something like that is on its way, and it's starting with X-Men. So what is there room for Hugh Jackman moving forward? I feel like in good faith you can't reboot the X-Men and keep Hugh Jackman dangling around unless you really integrate him into the story. I know there's a lot of really classic X-Men comics and storylines, and even animated shows where Wolverine, he's like the teacher. Like I don't remember if like Professor X is like dead during these stories, off in space, or he's like on vacation. But like Wolverine like steps up and like teaches all of these young kids. So that's a possibility. They could maybe that's his way to redemption, right? He's a character that's very sorry for his past, so maybe that's his way of redeeming himself. But yeah, they got a little bit to deal with here. He's a loose thread, unfortunately.
Well, I also think I don't think it's a reboot. I think that's an important thing to say. If they do what they think, it'll be a distillation of the best things they want to keep down, not a reboot, right? Like I don't think they're starting over from scratch. I do think they need another Wolverine. I think relying on Wolverine as the main character since 2001 is not good for a franchise that has like X-Men has so many characters, right? So many characters with so many powers. You don't need to rely on Wolverine. He just happens to be the one who happened to stick out from the movies from all these years. So I think you can do something there. But like, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman played so well off each other in Deadpool and Wolverine. I would love to see Josh Brolin return as Cable and have some fun with that. But we don't know. And honestly, Deadpool 4 is not even announced or greenlit, quote unquote, yet. So who knows if this will even come to fruition. As I read through this article in the background, it could be something that's like, yeah, we're trying it, but it didn't work out, so we're gonna nix it early on. So kind of look into that. One of the things in the article actually is Kevin Feige talks about upcoming Marvel Television on Disney Plus being standalone and becoming like one show a year kind of thing, right? Live action, one show a year. And most recently, we've asked ourselves, hey, will Daredevil Born Again, which features Daredevil and the Punisher, be affected by the end of the Thunderbolts? Kevin Feige says no. The word is just no. So we will not see the Sentry Voids thing show up anything at all in Daredevil Born Again Season 2 or Daredevil Season 2, whatever they want to call it, or vice versa, probably. However, there is the Punisher, John Bernthal, getting his own special presentation that we know about. They're filming right now, by the way. They have some scenes. And that he is making the leap to movies with him being in Spider-Man Brand New Day next year. So I'm curious if this is a one-time thing, or is it going to be like, hey, we need to borrow a TV character that's popular. Can we bring them over? A la maybe Miss Marvel and a Champion / Young Avengers movie, right? Kind of down the road.
Maybe, I don't know. There's obviously restrictions and stipulations that they have to deal with. Another thing from this article that I feel like now we're just kind of slowly distilling as we reach the end of the show. He was asked about Miles Morales, and he said something like they're not allowed to bring him into live action yet. Like so it sounds like Miles live action is on the table, but like it's all about like timing of when it can or can't happen. So
here's the thing, though. We know we have Spider-Man in 2026, brand new day. Spider-Man, hopefully, Beyond the Spider-Verse in 2027. That would leave the next Spider-Man movie, with Spider-Man 5, to be the debut point of him in live action if they wanted to. So I think currently, short term, no. 5 years, absolutely yes. I think he'll be there.
Yeah, I think Miles is going to be a big bargaining chip. And we've talked about this before between Marvel and Sony, because we tried to do our lawyering and we tried to read the fine print in between the lines. Like Miles exists like outside of the deal, I think, that they made with Sony, unless things had been re-up recently as a bargaining chip already. You know, if Sony owns all the Spider-Man characters at the point when they bought it, I mean, Miles was invented after that, right? So it might be one of those things where, like, if you want Miles in an MCU movie against our will, you just cannot even whisper the word Spider-Man anywhere, because we own that character. So I could see maybe it being used as a pawn between them, but. Go back to the Punisher. I believe they own him outright, so I don't see there couldn't be an issue. If we're taking anything away from this, is Feige is a producer that is okay with pivoting if things need to pivot, and I will always give him the benefit of the doubt, because I feel like things didn't start slipping over at Marvel until there was bigger directives over his head that he couldn't fight back against, right? Yeah. So he held strong. Unfortunately, these decisions that get made just have long tailwinds. Like I think we're just finally getting the last of that.
Wonder Man has been done since before 2023, and that's still not out yet. So yeah, absolutely. Like they have to shelf them, essentially. So, he says in here.
So we get to really see Feige at work now. If you can kind of like turn this ship back around. I also saw in the article, I think he mentioned he only has like 2 years left on his contract, which kind of like conveniently lines up with like all of this culminating in Secret Wars. I got to imagine he gets extended, but I think there's going to be some talk.
Well, you've got to
extend his contract of like, what's your succession plan?
Yeah, it's a succession plan. It's essentially kind of like what Bob Iger, how many has he got left? 1.5 years on his? So like, do you think he's going to actually give it up this time?
I don't know.
That's a great question. Like to me, I is more of like he came back. He's pushed everybody back in the right direction, right? Yeah. So how do you pick somebody who does the same thing he just did?
I can't remember if when we brought up Kathleen Kennedy's exit as a rumor or even something that she talked about, but I think that's up in the air. So it just seems like all of these leads of all of these pillars of entertainment that come out of Disney are all just kind of like, are we going to move on? Who's going to take over the reins? So there could be some instability coming forward, but hopefully maybe it breathes fresh air, new talent. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's fine. But like, anyway, back to the topic here of the Punisher. They, in this article, he mentioned specifically the Punisher being one of the rarities going from television to get his own special presentation to movies. And it sounds like going forward, television will be, I wouldn't say winding down, but being very focused on, one live action show a year, maybe 2, and not have anything to do with the movies anymore. Like being more like a TV show is, rather than trying to make them all connected. So my guess is that's going to wind next 5 years. If we don't have another Disney Plus show for Marvel that's live action, I wouldn't be surprised, right? I would actually feel all Marvel TV would possibly be maybe animated or like very, very small bits, if I'm going to be a guessing man here. But John Bernthal back when I thought he was a big name, 10 years ago, he's even becoming even bigger, right? We talked about The Punisher. He's coming up in, what was that movie we talked about last week? The Odyssey, right? Being in there. He's in The Accountant too. Just a rising star overall. I have an Avengers Doomsday rumor for you, Mike, that was not in this article. I'll tell you that right now. And that's a rumor that Samuel L. Jackson to return as Nick Fury in the movie. He was not on those cast chair lists, but I would love to see him return in some capacity because Nick Fury is a fun guy to have around.
Yeah, it would be wild. I mean, I just keep assuming the casting for Doomsday and Secret Wars is it's all one line item, right? It's all one big master document that just has like we have people highlighted in green for Doomsday and like red for Secret Wars or whatever. But yeah, if he's not in one of these two movies, that would be wild, especially if we're going for some sort of like soft reset. To just not have him in it, who's like kind of the connecting thread for all of this, would be insane.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like he's there from the beginning through the end, and even if he doesn't make it, out of this movie, but they need to redeem him from Secret Invasion, right? Like I need a Nick Fury redemption from that movie. So, also, I believe he was in the Marvels, which dealt with sending what's her name, Monica Rambeau, to the X-Men universe, which I assume is probably why a lot of the X-Men people were announced for this. So he might be a part of searching for her in that. So we'll see. Big news out of this article. Kevin Feige has confirmed Jake Schreier, director of the Thunderbolts, will be directing X-Men for Marvel, Mike. It's been rumored for months since Thunderbolts came out, but they have Kevin Feige says they're officially it's official. He will be directing X-Men. So they're working on it right now. So that's pretty cool.
Don't listen to the dissenting voices. Thunderbolts is a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Ignore the box office. Ignore whatever nonsense is out there in the world. It's a good movie. I had a great time watching it.
I've not heard a bad someone who's watched it not say a bad thing about it. That's the interesting part, right? Like that's
I feel like this is like the minority that just loves leaning into like, oh, a shot has landed across the bow and Thunderbolts didn't make $1 bajillion and it was supposed to be good, but it wasn't. But it is good. I know it's out on digital for rent at like $30 or whatever.
Yep.
But I gotta think that we're gonna be seeing some fresh reception once it hits Disney Plus.
Let's see. There's no official release date, but I did pre-order it for the end of July for physical, like my Blu-ray. So I'm gonna guess August. August will probably when it hits, right? For that. Kevin Feige, he also in this article did talk about Thunderbolts because he was talking about this. He said it's one of the best reviewed Marvel. He and Variety said this is one of the best reviewed Marvel movies in years. Didn't gross a lot of money globally, but he did admit that nobody knew the title, and many of those characters were from TV shows. So the idea that you have to know who those characters are to watch it, I think the movie handles not knowing those characters very well, right? So I agree with that. But anyway, yeah,
it's Hollywood math through and through. You never know what does and doesn't matter. Right, James Gunn took the Guardians of the Galaxy, made a lot of money out of it. Nobody knew those characters.
Well,
so you think, hey, what about characters that are kind of known from TV shows? Nope, apparently that didn't work.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say that the title's piss poor. Like, it should have just been the New Avengers from day fucking one. Like let's be honest here. If they'd marketed this as the New Avengers and not some big reveal at the end, this would have been way more eyeballs on this movie, right? Like nobody. If you, this is the Mike Mom test. If you said, "Hey Mom, have you watched Thunderbolts?" She'd be like, "What's that?" "Hey Mom, did you see the new Avengers movie?" She might understand what that is, right? A little bit. So,
unfortunately, I think you need a slightly different movie if you're going to call it the New Avengers. Right. I think you have to you almost have to. And I've heard this somewhere before. I was listening. I think it might have been the podcast. They say a lot of the times now when creators are pitching or developing shows or movies, like they want you to sit down. Oh, I think it was Seth Rogen. I think he was doing like a round table possibly. And they say like, when you're pitching this movie or trying to plot it out or think about it, what does the trailer look like? Because marketing's everything. Like, this is a product that you're making. You need to think about what is that first piece that goes out into the world and tells you about your movie. So if you're kind of restarting the Thunderbolts from the beginning, it's just kind of like, okay, well, if we're calling this the new Avengers, we need bits in the trailer where the characters are referencing the Avengers and being the new Avengers or trying to be the new Avengers, and you have just totally different scenes now that are transpiring. I think you can still encompass Bob and his character around the movie, but yeah, I think you have to kind of kickstart it in a different way.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, it's not just changing the title would fix it, right? I don't think it's just the title change, but saying the Thunderbolts is not a good title. I'm just gonna say on the whole, not a good title, right? Like, yep, I get why they did it, why it comes from the comic books, but like, it's not a good title at all. So if they would have done the whole thing with that from the beginning, probably would have been better. Money, just getting some eyes on that. Moving on, this week, Mike, this coming week is Fantastic Four. And for those who haven't got your tickets, you probably get it. I had to move my tickets, and a lot of seats were filled, but I was able to grab them together. On Disney Plus, they are streaming a blue carpet, use blue carpet instead of red carpet event. I think on Monday or Tuesday of this. So that I think was, to me, that was a cool idea, Mike. That they're like streaming these things. Did you see that they added the first person views of most of the Disneyland rides to Disney Plus as well this week?
Oh yeah.
So I thought, like, this is a way cooler way to, like, it's making not fully, but like Disney Plus is more like a YouTube with some of these like videos. I'm like, yeah, I can go here and throw these on and pretend I'm there, which is really fun. But the rumor, I had this before, that the big trailers are attached. Tron Ares, we talked about. Predator Badlands, which might be at San Diego Comic-Con this week and be before the movie, so we might be talking about Predator Badlands next week, Mike. Then obviously the Avatar Fire and Ash, the first trailer, would be released with this movie. And wouldn't you know it, not to take away from Fantastic Four, but we got a leaked version on the internet, a very clean leaked version on the internet, minus like one big block, gray and black block where they were hiding the name of the person who leaked it, obviously. But I love Avatar trailers, Mike, because they are so fucking atmospheric. Like, there's hardly any dialogue. There's like not pounding music. Like, there's nothing rock music. It's the Avatar music. You're watching fully fledged CGI scenes. It's very emotional, and you're like, this looks cool, and I want to see how this plays out together. Like, it's just feels really good. What I sent it to you because I knew you'd want to watch this like right away. What do you think of it?
Yeah, they are being incredibly judicious about this too. Obviously, I can see a trailer being removed, right? But I'm not even seeing screenshots from the trailer online anymore. So even like just like the visuals of like what these new Fire and Ash like characters look like, which are very compelling and look very cool and kind of creepy and kind of scary. And I'm excited to see how they interact with this Na'vi family that we've come to grow and love. I do remember the trailer opening. There's like these hot air balloon like characters.
Yeah. Those are from the
creatures
concept arts.
That exist, and it's such a lush world, and it's like it's the first time like I've really seen in cinema going to a different planet, and it's actually a planet, right? There's biomes, there's parts of the world that even the people there that live on it don't know about, right? Because that's exactly how our planet works too. I mean, I can fly like Australia. Yeah. I've never been there, and I'd be like, oh wow, this is crazy.
And they're also like kind of, I would say, primitive people, right? Not necessarily they're not technologically advanced. They wouldn't even know like that the Fire Clan exists, except maybe through like rumors and whispers as well. So yeah, absolutely. Like, it's gonna be a lot of discovery, a lot of wonder. The fire people are cool. There's like one shot where like they light fire, like one of them lights fire in their fingers, and like they're like lighting the fire and stuff. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they have any abilities with the fire. Like, can they interact with it? Do they not burn? Like, what is going on here? But it also seems to be a big return for I don't know the villain's name from the first one. Is it Quark, who gets reincarnated in the Na'vi in the second one?
Yeah, the army rah-rah guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and he looks to be taking maybe a part of this or trying to become part of the Fire Tribe in this one. So just gleaning stuff from this. It's just music and a little bit of dialogue and Zoe Saldana hissing at the camera, which she did a lot of in the last one as well. So very interested to see more of that. I'm excited. It seems like it kind of picks up maybe right where the last one ends. Like it doesn't seem like maybe there's as much time passage.
Yeah, there's not a ton in this trailer of kind of like human stuff, right? There's like a quick shot of kind of that that like whale poaching ship. There's like, some human technology in it. So they aren't at least quite revealing, how that is involved. Like I'm very invested in this plot of like, the humans that keep coming. So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm blue pilled. I'm ready to see this.
Yeah, absolutely. Count me in as well. Obviously, this is like one of those movies that had been done for a while, and they're finishing it up. And I think they said this one or the fourth one has a time jump, right? That they stopped filming to let the kids age up a bit. So I'm interested to kind of see that. I'm down for this. I want to see this trailer in the theaters. I want to take it all in, and then get ready to watch it when it hits in December. That's it for the episode, Mike. Obviously, we need to parse through this the Variety article through and through. Throw it in AI and have it read me the important parts. Just kidding. I'm gonna read it myself. But if people want to know what you're doing, what you're up to, where can they find you at?
Yeah, they can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com and liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, people want to find you. Where are you?
Find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or Video Game Systems with the same name. If you want to know more about the show, find these links for these trailers, listen to all our goodies, all our episodes, our last review of Superman last week, upcoming Fantastic Four this week. Where can they get all that good stuff at?
Yeah, we got a good old-fashioned URL at superheroslate.com. That is the best place to find everything we do here at the show. You can check out our upcoming release calendar to see when a lot of this stuff is coming out. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you love listening to podcasts. We got merch at superheroslate.com/store. We love hearing from you. Reach out. Let us know what you're watching, what you're playing, what you're listening to. And we love our super fans. If you want to be a super fan of this show, all you got to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we'll be here every week, folks.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.